Hey there, it's Tony here, and welcome to episode 47 of the Dumb Leaders podcast. Today we're talking about the glory hog, the ungrateful swine. We're sharing a story about a dumb leader who never thanks their team. Now, if you're in a leadership position, if you're in a management position, if you're in a position where you need to have a team that performs underneath you, there are some real lessons in this story for you that you can take on board to help you become a better leader. You see, once I worked with a leader who was a bit of a glory hog. He loved the accolades that were sent his way when the team won. But he was never one to thank the team for whether it was for efforts, results, performance. He just never thanked their team. He was in it for himself and ultimately no one else. We called him the ungrateful swine. But the glory hog would have also been an apt description. Now, daily on an ongoing operational basis, our dumb leader expected out the team, and we had a team of about 8 people. He expected the team to be motivated simply for the glory of him. The glory of the ungrateful. The work of the team was expected to be of a high standard. But there was never any acknowledgement that it was. And the real crazy thing around this is that the team actually performed. They were a team of high achievers. They were a team of self-motivated individuals who gained satisfaction out of the performance that they actually delivered. Now, there was also, I suppose, a sense that that we figured that we were only being led by this dumb leader for a short period of time. And most of us were prepared to stick it out in the hope that the company got wise and we saw an end to the painful leadership. But unfortunately, the company didn't get wise. And what we ultimately saw was the dismantling of the team. And the dismantling of the team happened after the dumb leader actually won a national award. And this highlighted, and this was a real highlight for his team because it really highlighted his acute level of dumbness that he had. Now, in his congratulatory speech, he lauded those that perched on the corporate ladder above him, and for those steering the company's ship. So in other words, he thanked everyone above him. And as first and primary priority. Now his team, and I was part of that team, were watching, and we knew what to expect. And we expected nothing, and he delivered admirably. But towards the end of his self-congratulatory speech, and if suddenly overcome by the need to be seen to be doing the right thing, he said thank you to his team. It was disingenuous, it was perfunctory, and it was staged. And I think everyone knew it. Everyone, including his bosses. Now, over the following 3 months, the 3 months that preceded that particular self-imposed, self-congratulatory speech, that high-performing team started to dismantle. Now, firstly, one member left after he was passed over for a promotion. A promotion, I might add, that he was promised by the dumb leader. He left for a rival company. He decided that enough was enough. And he wanted to see if the grass was greener, and in fact it was, in this particular case. Now, the first escapee, as I called him, created a bit of an onslaught. The team left. Most of the team left in the 12 weeks that followed. They were finally tired of being taken for granted, and most of the team went looking, applied for, and accepted new jobs in other companies or in other divisions within that company. Now, the ungrateful swine was left with a mostly new team, and ultimately became paralyzed by his own lack of social awareness and his inability to provide team recognition. And ultimately, this saw him probably 12 months after this high-performing team left, and the team that replaced them were unable to hit the same marks, the dumb leader himself was ultimately replaced. Now, accepting credit for work done by others, accepting personal credit, is a sign of poor leadership. Now, there is, so as a leader, there is a snippet of your success that you can take credit for when you've led a team well. Absolutely. We hear it all the time. It was great leadership. It was, my leader challenged me to achieve more than what we thought we could achieve. We hear it all the time. But accepting sole credit is just a sign of dumb leadership. And it's something that dumb leaders do. But it's ultimately something that will destroy your team. So here's a couple of tips, tricks, and advice that will help you if ever you find yourself in this situation where you're seeking that personal glory, that personal success, that credit. Hopefully these little tips will help you nut your way through that, negotiate, navigate. So first up, you need to dive into you with some serious self-reflection. Now, understanding yourself is a strong way forward for every single leader. Trying to achieve the best for you and being ambitious is not a bad thing. Absolutely not. It's not a bad thing. But when it comes down to not supporting those that help you along the way, that's when it gets dumb. So no one achieves success by themselves, but self-absorption may make you believe that's not the case. So discover the story that's behind you. Discover the story that's within you. And where has this need for for credit, this taking the credit for others, where has it come from? Were you passed over for a promotion before? Is it part of your upbringing? Is it part of your conditioning? Is it a fear of missing out? It could be a plethora of reasons. But we recommend highly that you discover the reasoning behind your behaviours. It's only then can we change the outcome, because it's only then that we can change the behaviours. Step number 2. So step number 1, get into some deep, serious self-reflection. Where has this come from? Why is this needed? What are you lacking in your life that needs you to take the credit? Now, step number 2 is repeat the mantra, it's not about me. It's not about me. Leadership is not about you. Now, every day on rising or every day before heading to bed, give thanks for what you have. Give thanks for the people around you. Give thanks for the work that they do. Now, this is a long-term project and it won't materialize overnight. It's a history of being driven by self. And that won't change overnight. But I want you to stay the course and look for the good in every day. So when we change our approach to the world and filling our world with gratitude, that becomes a key component in our leadership approach and the language in which we use. And then step number 3, of course, is to look for ways to recognize and thank your team. However, this can also be fraught with dangers. So, because we need to be genuine and we need to be authentic. And especially when it comes to recognition and feedback. If we're non-genuine in our feedback, then people will see through that. And your team will see it for exactly that. And it'll actually become a bit of a detriment to you and your team moving forward. Now, as a leader, even a positional leader or a leader who leads by title only, you need to influence your team because you will want them to put in effort. And any person that's putting in effort for you, you need to thank. So we start to shift our mindset with our self-reflection. We start to instill some behaviours in us that starts to look for the good within our people. and then we go out there and we thank our team. So as a leader or a manager, your team and the work that they perform directly relates to your ability to influence and lead. Managers who don't invest in their team by thanking and recognizing them will always be working on two negative consequences. One will be constant churn, and the other one will be consistent underperformance. Churn because the team members are constantly leaving, and underperformance because no one wants to perform excellence in a place where they don't feel valued. When you thank and you recognize your team, their performance, their work performance, when you take steps to thank your team on their work ethic, their work performance, their effort, you actually take steps yourself in becoming a much more effective leader. Thanks for listening to episode 47 of the Dumb Leaders podcast. Check it out at dumbleaders.com, where we've got a library of lessons from lousy leaders, and it's all there designed to help make you a better leader. Don't forget to leave your feedback. Just visit the contact page at dumbleaders.com and share your story if you want. We'd love to hear more and more stories around dumb leaders. For now, thanks for listening. We'll see you again next week.